This is where gym owners skimp, and it's sad because they will absolutely spend whatever it takes to build out the space, but then they'll skimp on the marketing. And the marketing is what actually makes you money. I promise you, no one is joining your gym for your treadmills or your barbells or your bumper plates or whatever you're purchasing. That stuff we're excited about. We're fitness-minded people. They're not. They want to buy outcomes. This is an easy way to grow your list and get thousands of leads in your area, which is the goal for any small business owner.
This is the Reinforce Your Gym podcast with your host, Dustin Vogel. This show is about arming gym owners with the tools, strategies, and lessons they need to take their business to the next level. That way, they can make a greater impact in their community. Now, let's get to work and reinforce your gym.
Gym owners, how would you like to open your first or your next gym with profit on day one? Well, that is what we're going to be talking about on this week's episode of the Reinforce Your Gym podcast, all about doing grand opening the right way. And I can speak from experience because I myself opened 6 locations and I've helped hundreds of other gym owners to open their locations and to be profitable at day one. So this is a process that I'm going to literally walk you through step by step so you could do it. Again, if this is your first gym or if you're looking to open an additional gym and maybe you didn't have a strategy, again, we've all been there, but now I'm going to give you one so that you can do it the right way. Okay, so this is Dustin's grand opening strategy, how to get profitable on day one. So let's get into it, okay? There's multiple layers to this. In fact, there's about 8 that I'm going to go through, but it all is linear. So it all lines up one thing after the next, okay? So we're going to talk about this stuff. So first, I'm going to give you advice that you're probably not going to hear from a lot of other experts, and that is I want to help you optimize your build out, okay? Before we go into grand opening this thing, man, if you have a blank canvas, if you have an open space, let me just tell you something that's made me a lot of money and helped other gym owners make a lot of money, and that is optimizing their build out, which means your dollars that you make per square foot are training space. So every lobby space that you add, every extra bathroom, every extra office, you are condensing your workout and training space, which thereby is going to make you lose money. I want as many pieces of that square foot to be devoted to training space. And in fact, the gym where we had the most profit, we actually built out multiple training spaces in the same gym, right? So this might be, instead of a big open space, you have 70% of it devoted to a large group training space, and you got another 30% where a simultaneous small group training session could be happening. Now you have basically 2 gyms under one roof, right? At one point, I had a gym with basically 3 gyms under one roof. We were able to run 2 small group and a large group at the same time. And that means we were able to just maximize our profit, because let's face it, in fitness, all of us are trying to think of ways to maximize and optimize the middle of the day to become a more revenue generating time. But it's just a fool's errand, right? I believe that you're going to make all your money in the morning, treating your gym like a breakfast spot, and you're going to make it in the evening and treating it like a dinner spot, right? We don't serve lunch. You can kind of have that mindset. So make your build out so that you can optimize and receive more clients in the morning and the evening, because your space allows for it. So I know we're here to talk about grand opening, but I can't tell you how many gym owners are just putting themselves in a lot of pain because of that decision of build out from day one. So if you want feedback, take a picture of the space you're looking at, give me a sketch of your build out. I'm happy to give you feedback. Send it to me on my Instagram or my Facebook, and I'm happy to help you out. So can't really give specific advice. Obviously, I can't see everyone's gym in context, but that is just a piece of advice I wish someone gave me back in the day. All right, now moving on to the next layer of this is deciding on pricing. We're going to get into like what you do to get profit on day one, but man, the other big decision besides your location and your build out is going to really be your pricing. Pricing decision is massive, and I don't think anybody really stops someone and points this out, because it sets you up for years of pain or years of profit, right? And I don't want you to be in that pain category. So here's what you want to do. You want to sit down and really look at your model and ask, what is the price that I want to charge where we can be profitable with the minimum amount of clients, right? I would not say in today's game you want to be a volume-based gym and chasing massive amounts of number. And the truth is, because of the competition, it's very stiff unless you're willing to spend a lot of money and a lot of energy into chasing a lot of people. Today, it's better to optimize for fewer people spending more and just having an excellent product, excellent space, excellent sales process, because you're going to have so much competition. All the other gyms in your area, all the online options, you got Ozempic. So gone are the days of having a 500 to 1,000 member gym. They still are in existence, but they are absolutely even more rare than they used to be. And it's because of that. So I would really take some time and ask yourself, like, how am I going to make this business cash flow? How am I going to be profitable ongoing, right? I'm here to give you the how-to on day one in your grand opening, but the long-term decision of pricing can't be understated. And I see this actually with some gyms right now who are doing very, very low priced grand opening specials. And the downside of that is you are now price anchoring in the market that you are a cheap gym or a low cost gym. And we don't want that, right? I know the trade-off is like, well, I'm going to get volume, but yeah, you're going to get a ton of people that are not ideal customers, and it's going to make you feel extremely frustrated when they don't convert to membership. So what we want to do, in my opinion, is long-term trial, say 6 or 8 weeks. That's what you're going to offer on your grand opening, because now I can charge a good amount. I can charge 200, 300, something like that as my grand opening offer to the market, or founding membership. And maybe when they commit to founding membership, they get a discount on their first month, or they get a lower price locked in, but not too low, right? Where it's going to, again, hurt your cash flow. So that's why I sit down, do the math, and optimize. If I had 100 people, if I had 200, if I had 300, what would my revenue look like? What would my profits look like? And take some time and really crunch this, right? This is the part we can skip by because we're so excited about the build out and picking out what brand of rack we're going to get for our equipment and what dumbbell set we're going to get and what benches and all these things. But like, guys, I'm telling you, pricing is a huge decision. So pick that. All right. So moving on, we're going to talk about now creating hype. Okay. And if you don't know this, I used to be a pro wrestler for 10 years. So we know about hype. We know that more people probably look forward to the entrances and singing the entrance music than they actually look forward to the match. Right. And so that's what wrestling is built off of, is lots and lots of hype. And so I say, look at it as creating your WrestleMania, right? That's your grand opening. It's the biggest show of the year. It's your biggest thing of the year. You only get one grand opening and then that's it, right? From there, it's more like anniversaries, but nothing is as special as that grand opening. So you want to build an immense amount of hype. It blows my mind that a lot of people don't post more than maybe once or twice, and then they start going hard once the doors are open. Well, now you're operating without any cash flow, without any profit. And that's by choice because you chose not to hype. So it's like, hey, let's hype it up. Let's tell people we're coming to town, and you can take them along for the ride, right? The gym owners I see doing this the right way, they're actually taking the community along with them during the build out and asking help with making decisions. They're like, hey, should I do this paint color or that paint color? Should I do this flooring or that flooring? Do you think the logo should be this size or should be bigger? And, again, they might already have a decision of where they're going to put things, but they're allowing the market to participate and vote and have a say, right? And that's just fun. It creates an engaging build out process. Updating them when equipment is being delivered. Like, this could all be content. Letting people see it from shell to completely built out is a fun journey, right? It doesn't happen a lot. And then if you're the type of gym that has transformations with your clients, you have before and afters, you have testimonials, you should be dripping those out, right? Because you got to be honest with yourself. The equipment we as gym owners are excited about, but the people don't tend to be. They need to be sold on the outcome that they can get, right? Equipment is nothing more than a vehicle to an outcome. So whatever outcome you promise, you need to be dripping that out during this hype phase. And so to me, hype should at least be 2 to 3 months, which means that you're just like teasing you're coming to town, right? In a perfect world, if this could be like a 6-month kind of window where you get your keys into your space, you're doing all your build out and all these things, and then you actually open doors, that would be ideal, right? I know sometimes we have condensed times. People only get their keys 2 months before opening or 3 months, and that's okay. You can play with this. But I would say that ideally you got 3 months of hype, and then you get into is the fourth part, and that is building your list, right? So we don't want to just post content for no reason. All of your content should have a CTA telling them to opt in for whatever your offer is. Like I said, I would do a grand opening challenge, or I would do a founding membership rate. So at the end of every video, you're saying, hey guys, click the link in our bio, click the link below, opt in. So you're kind of pairing content, testimonials, and giveaway all on top of each other, right? And so that would be where my paid advertising is going, is I'm saying, hey, opt in for this grand opening offer, right? You don't have to wait for our doors to open. You can get in now. In fact, if you get onto this pre-sale, you will get a lower price. Once we open doors, prices are up, right? And so that's an easy hook to get people to want to opt in, because they can either get this grand opening challenge at a pre-sale early bird rate, or they could get a membership at the founder rate, which again will end once you officially open doors. So this is an easy way to grow your list and get thousands of leads in your area, which is the goal for any small business owner. And yes, you're coming with generosity, right? You're either giving a discount, you could even give some free spots away and say, hey, we're going to give 10 people a free challenge, opt in to win. These are, again, ideas I'm throwing at you, but this is where gym owners skimp. And it's sad because they will absolutely spend whatever it takes to build out the space, but then they'll skimp on the marketing. And the marketing is what actually makes you money. I promise you, no one is joining your gym for your treadmills or your barbells or your bumper plates or whatever, again, you're purchasing. That stuff we're excited about. We're fitness-minded people. They're not, right? So like they want to buy outcomes. I would at least spend $1,000 to $2,000 a month on building your list, 3 to 6 months before opening doors. I always put aside anywhere from 6 to 10K for a grand opening, depending on how much runway I had. And I wanted to open doors with at least 2,000 leads. And that way I can have a profitable gym on day one. So again, I'm sharing this with you guys because I want that to be you. This is the exact process, all right? Gym owners, take a much needed timeout from working in your business and work on your business, all right? We can do it together at the Scale Your Gym Workshop. This is a live event I'm putting together in Dallas on September 5th and 6th, and I'd love to see you there. And in fact, I made it as affordable as possible by making tickets only $50 a person. Okay, that's a smoking deal. And that way you can bring a manager, a head coach, a business partner, anybody else that you want to bring, they can come too. All right, so go ahead and secure your tickets because we are limiting this to just 25 people. We want it to be a small, intimate workshop, and you will leave with a clear action plan on how to grow your business to the next level. All right, so go ahead and go to scaleyourgymworkshop.com. Grab your tickets now. So we're halfway through this list. Again, optimize your build out, pick pricing that allows you to be profitable when you're optimized for a lower amount of people, build hype like it's WrestleMania, and then build that list with that grand opening offer. So now we're going to go to the 5th step, which is building out your lead nurture machine. All right. Surprise, surprise. The king of lead nurture in the gym space is telling you to do this. Well, I'll give you the how you could do it with GR or how you could do it without gym reinforcements. So the first would be go and get a Go High Level. All right. I think that is the best CRM for lead nurture. Is it the right one for you to run your gym with your members? Probably not, right? It was built for marketing and sales. If you go look at MindBody, FitPro Tracker, Club Ready, Zen Planner, there's a ton of them out there, Push Press. You want to pick an app that your members can book sessions in, and it can be more like a gym managing software. Go High Level is going to be your lead nurture software. New leads come in from your ads. It triggers automations. It can make sales. It does so many neat things, right? So that is what I would get set up. And if you guys want a very, very inexpensive Go High Level sub account, go ahead again and shoot me a DM and we'll get you set up. We charge 1/10 of what other agencies charge because we're not in it to make money on software. We want to get you the tools you need to be successful. All right. Now, I would set up automations that when a new lead comes in, first, they're being messaged saying, hey, we received your information. You're entered into the pre-sale or early bird, whatever you want to label it, and we'll be reaching out soon. And you want this to be easy for you to track and to look at, right? So we love using the pipelines and the opportunities within CRM, Go High Level. So basically you can drag someone from lead to like following up over into a sale. And the more people you drop into the sale pipeline, it'll count those up and it'll tell you how many sales you have, which is cool, right? So that would be the 5th step, is set up your lead nurture machine. And then the 5th is where we got to start turning those leads into sales. So I basically call these periods going into beast mode, right? Like I know it's like a old term, people don't say this anymore, but like I think about it like you got to have some sort of word that triggers you to say, I'm stepping it up. This is going to be an abnormal amount of effort. I'm going to go berserk, right? Whatever you want to say to kind of hype you up. But to me, for the next 8 weeks, when you're 8 weeks from actually opening doors, you are in beast mode, selling mode, right? Like you are going to pick up the phone and you are going to dial, you're going to text, you're going to email for many hours of the day, at least 4 a day. You will just be focused on getting a hold of all these people who've opted in and selling them something. Should they be sent the link to self-checkout? Absolutely. There'll be people who like to do things that way. They don't need to talk to anyone. They've made the decision. Let it be easy. But for those who have questions and they have fears, and what if it's not the right fit for me? Or what if your times don't line up with my schedule? Someone has to talk to these people and put these fears at ease. And if they're not addressed, you're leaving money on the table, right? And so again, I'll see owners run ads that were coming to town. They'll let people self-checkout, and then they just open doors with people who did the self-checkout, leaving so much money on the table because they did not manually follow up, right? So this is where I said that's the owner-operator version. Like you set up your lead machine and go high level. You make the dials. You're just putting in the sweat equity because you don't have the funds to hire someone. If you want to outsource it, that's what Gym Reinforcements is all about. We will do all this for you. So again, you can go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call, and see if you want to put a sales rep in your system to do this for you. But I would make this the absolute goal for you or your sales rep with GR is every day, one person must be sold. That is a very, very realistic goal when you're doing grand opening because you're such a hot commodity. You're just this new thing coming to town. You're the talk of the town. It's very easy to sell one person a day during grand opening. So I would make that required. And it was the mindset I had. It'd be 7 o'clock at night. I still didn't have my sale. I just start dialing the phone. I would get a hold of somebody and I would just do whatever it takes. And it's because I put that mindset on. And so the earlier I get in the day, the better, right? But that is the goal. So your number one focus is not to be the coach to the contractors. Your number one focus is not to go and roll paint. Your number one focus is marketing and sales if you want to have a profitable gym on day one. So a lot of gym owners think that they're being like the savior to their business by going in there on the weekends and, slamming nails into the wall and rolling paint and, building out things that arrive from the equipment supplier. But I will tell you, that is better to hire someone else and outsource that so that you can spend your time doing marketing and sales. That makes you money. The other things we just talked about, those just cost you money, right? Nobody gets paid for the paint color they picked or the equipment, being assembled. That stuff you need to hire someone else to do. So that's my advice to you. All right, moving on. Step 7. We did the lead nurture. We did the hype. We sold people into, again, a challenge or founding membership. Now we want to create an experience. Okay. So people are coming in. We don't want this to feel like just any old day. This has to be hype. This has to be an amazing experience. And that should be your number one goal is that I want to make this so memorable that people go home and they're talking about it, which they will. And that means you can get a trickle of referrals in, right? So what we did was whatever we sold, if it was, for instance, like a grand opening 6-week challenge, we would do giant group orientations. We would get 2 or 3 groups the weekend leading into our first day of business, right? So if we're opening on a Monday, the previous Saturday, Friday, and Thursday, we're running group orientations with 20 to 50 people because we want to teach everyone how things are going to be done, how we recommend that you eat to get the best results, how to use the app. It was just like a massive Q&A session. And it was exciting to see all these other people that decided to join the gym at the same time. And they immediately start talking and like, oh, you're going to go to the 8 a.m. session? Me too. Yeah, all right, cool. Maybe we can see each other there. And immediately you're creating some bonds, right? But like that made it an experience versus you come to the gym, I meet with you one-on-one. There's not as much energy. And so at this group orientation, I mean, we would have vendors giving out free snacks. We would have print out books that would have all the nutrition materials. So you got something in your hands. We had t-shirts and supplements for sale. Like these are all things you can do to make this event a big deal. You can have food trucks. You can have a live DJ, however you want to do it, but make this thing a big bang, right? And like, again, get a content team down there filming it and get this stuff on social media, right? A lot of gym owners have amazing things going on in their gym, but they're not sharing it with the outside world. And that is a crying shame, right? So this is a time for you as a leader to cascade to these people vision, right? Like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. This is the mission of this place. And we're so glad that you chose us, but this is what we plan to do, right? And you can tell them your mission as a company. Do you have a certain amount of pounds you want to help your community lose? Do you have a certain amount of people that you want to help in your doors, right? Let them know that. Like, they can't help you grow your business unless you tell them who you're looking for, who are your ideal customers, right? You can say, we help this type of person achieve this type of outcome. If you know anybody else like that, send them our way, right? And so essentially that is the first thing you want to plant in people's ears is vision. Like, where is this place going? And how can I help them out? And it just helps to create an identity, right? That's what we want to have in any type of business is the people who do business with this company believe X. And if you believe it, you belong here. And you're establishing that from day one. You're really seeding your culture into your clients, into your team. You're really telling them how you want things to be done, right? And then the final part is it's your ability to also forecast what happens after the challenge. So, some people will call this a group close. That's how I used to do it. I'd say, hey, when this challenge is over, you guys have paid this. This is the founding membership you're going to roll into. If we don't hear from you, we assume you want to continue. So you'll be auto-subscribed into that. If you choose you don't want to, anytime during the 6-week challenge, just come up to me or the staff, tell us you don't want to continue or email us here, and we'll make sure your subscription doesn't go through, right? Simple, easy, frictionless. People are very used to subscription-based models. We're just applying that to a gym. That was the big thing on the line at group orientation was just a high closing percentage. So that is number 7. And then the final part, number 8, tied a little bit of it in earlier. It's thinking with a who, not how mindset. Said many examples of this that you as the owner, all of us business owners tend to see tasks that need to be done. And then our first question is, how am I going to get this done? Where is it going to fit my schedule? What day will I put this on my agenda? And we need to break that and just say who, not how, right? Not how am I going to do it? Who else is going to do this? Who's going to paint the wall? Who's going to assemble the equipment? Who's going to do all these other things that are not marketing and sales related? Or, like I said, if you want to hire one of our remote sales reps, that's your who. But you want to be thinking with who, not how. First thing that comes natural to a gym owner is who's going to coach some of these sessions because I can't do all of them. Otherwise, it's going to break me. And that's one that they're very comfortable to delegate. It tends to be other things that they struggle to delegate. Like I said, contractor work, doing things around the gym, lead nurture, marketing, managing their staff. Those things they tend to put up a fight and try to keep them. But then they end up finding out the hard way that stuff burns them out too. So this is your chance to really become comfortable from day one with your opening that we need to build those delegation muscles, right? And I get it because in the beginning, I was the one-man show with a couple of helpers doing everything for my grand opening because I had a shoestring budget. I had no choice. But I would tell you it's better to go get a little bit more capital and spend it on doing the nice build out, but also doing the big grand opening and opening your doors from day one with profit. And then on that, hiring more help, right? Because that's one of the things you could do when you're well capitalized is you can make sure you got all these things. Otherwise, you got to pick and choose. And it's a choice between, do I want the best of the best equipment, or do I want to put it into marketing and be profitable on day one? Or do I want to work myself to the bone or hire more help? Well, if you have enough capital, you can have all three, right? But that's the tough part is that then becomes a risk tolerance question. How much do you have confidence in yourself? How much money can you get access to? And that way you can have it all. Otherwise, you got to pick and choose. If I were you, I would try to be a little bit more skimpy on the equipment. And if I had to, just do more work and not hire. And I would put more of my money that I had into the marketing and sales. And then I would basically take that and put it into hiring more help. And then if we have more, then I would do lasting equipment. That to me is that order of priority. So guys, if you got any questions about your grand opening, feel free to message me. One cool thing we do at GR, Gym Reinforcements, our give back to this industry. Every business I have, we have a give back component to it. Our give back to this industry is we run your ads for free for a month for your grand opening, right? To just show you what we can do. Honestly, it's partly, I love grand openings, so I want to help you out, but I also know money can be tight. So we want to lead with value, right? And so there's no setup fee, there's nothing. You just have to pay your ad spend, which will keep it at a very minimal amount, but we will just literally run your ads for a month for free. And if you're not blown away, obviously you don't have to continue, but most people will see very, very, very good results, and they'll want to continue with us. So that's our way of giving back to the gym owner community, is we run your ads for your grand opening for free for a month. So if you want that, shoot me a DM or go to freecallwithdustin.com and we will get that set up. All right, guys, that's all I got for you this week. See you next time. Hey, gym owners, let's face it, you probably don't love digital marketing. You probably don't want to go into Facebook and load the ad up and think of ad copy and creatives and optimize it daily. Well, hand that over to me and my team, because we're geeks about marketing and we want to flood your gym with new members so you can change their life. Let us do what we do best. All right, go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call. Don't bring the credit card. It's not a hard pitch. It's just a conversation to see if we're a good fit. Talk soon.